Hey Streets, let me tell you about this cool app that we've been using to help us along our podcast journey. So it's called Anchor and it's just really cool. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And also, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you don't have to worry about that part. You'll be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms, and Anchor will do it all for you. Also, you can make money from your podcast, and everything you need to make a podcast is all in one place. It's awesome. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. We'll see you there. Welcome to Chapter 30. I'm MissKay.
And I'm QueenTee.
This is a place for those women
and men
who feel that they have no one to talk to.
We're here. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Chapter 30 podcast, guys.
Welcome,
MissKay.
QueenTee.
Yes, so excited to be here.
Yes, finally.
I know. It's been a long time coming, but we're here.
Yes.
I can't believe we made it.
Hey.
So let's just introduce ourselves, just so you guys can kind of put a face to the name. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm all over the place. But I'm MissKay, also known as Corinne, but you can call me MissKay or MissKay Grace. I'm from Connecticut, and I'm a Pisces.
Hey. I'm Tanisha, aka QueenTee.
Yes.
I currently reside in Georgia, but I'm from New York.
Yes.
And I'm a Libra.
Yes. So again, welcome to Chapter 30, guys. We are so excited to be starting this. It's been a long time coming, as I mentioned. We've been putting so much work behind the scenes, and now to be recorded, it's so exciting.
Yes. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the support, the likes, the shares, the comments, the follow-ups, hey, where's this episode at? Just thank you. Thank you for all of it.
It means so much. For those of you who have been here from the start, y'all are day ones. We really appreciate all of you guys, but the day ones, y'all kind of got a special place in our heart because y'all have been just every day somebody has been keeping us accountable. So
for real,
so much love for that. Thank you.
Into it, let's break it down. Let's tell them how we met.
Yes.
Why we came up with this idea. Where do we meet? We met at University of Hartford. We've been friends for 10 plus years now.
Yes.
Oh, it's been a long journey.
It has been. I can't believe it's been over 10 years.
Seriously.
Wow.
It's crazy. I feel like I've lived maybe 4 to 5 lives in the past.
Right.
It's crazy.
And again, when you hit 30, it's just you can start saying things like that. 10 years.
Yes.
It's just crazy.
For real. It's definitely been a bunch of different lives. But the one thing that has been constant in my life is MissKay throughout that whole time.
You too.
Yes. I appreciate her so much. And there's nobody in this world that I would love more to be doing this podcast with than her.
Same.
Seriously, my partner, my best friend, everything.
Yes.
So, with that being said, MissKay and I really have this incredible bond. We have this sisterhood, and we just have shared so much with one another throughout the years. And a lot of those times we were saying, yo, if somebody was listening in on this conversation or just a fly on this wall, they'd be like, wait, what? What's going on?
Right.
And we've just shared so much with each other, and we decided that we wanted to share that with the world. We wanted to bring you guys into our bond, into our sisterhood, and hopefully we can all just gain something from it in some kind of way.
Right. Like you mentioned before in one of our meetings, it will be a partnership, us with them, just all of us together, just learning, growing, teaching each other things, healing, loving, all of that. And like
Yeah.
with our conversations, like we have text messages, voice memos, Facebook
Yes.
messages, like for days. Like, I mean, talking about everything. The
Yes.
guys that we talk to, dating apps,
Uh,
work, school, just everything. Like everything. And just the conversations that we have, they're just like so deep, so just like amazing. Like I would like look at them as if I was like a third party, and I would just be blown away at just some of the
yes.
things that like came up like just naturally,
Right.
organically. So we just want to share that. I feel like the world could really gain a lot from it, so join
I
us.
agree. Yes, I agree 100%. And it's so crazy how this whole thing came about. Like it just came from us talking naturally,
Yeah.
just being friends,
Right.
sharing our life experience together. And then, oh, it's so funny. A couple of days ago, Miss K sent me a screenshot of one of her memories, and it was from 6 years ago
On Facebook.
when
Yep.
when she was saying that her and I should have a TV show.
Right.
And here we are now, 6 years later, recording our first episode to our podcast.
Right.
Like, crazy.
Right.
Hashtag manifestation.
Yes. That's such an important, like, reoccurring theme in our friendship and in our podcast with our brand, everything, like manifestation, like so important. And you guys will see that throughout the episodes, really important to us. But that is so crazy how, like, I mentioned that TV show. I always want us to have like a reality show.
Yes.
Just print our text messages and like publish them and let it be a book. Cause I mean, it's real. Like,
Seriously.
it's so real. Like, we would just start off having a regular conversation, and before you know it, like mind blown. You guys know the
For
emoji
real.
with the head blown off. Like that's the mood all the time talking to.
Thank God for iPhone for that emoji because
Yes, that's
there's
everything.
no words like to express.
No,
That is the best emoji
like
ever,
mind
especially at
blown
this point in time.
all the time.
Yes.
Like therapeutic, funny.
Yeah.
Like it's just from every end of the spectrum. Like just it's just really intense. Like, and you
Yeah.
can tell it's really passionate, and it's just something else. So
Mm-hmm.
again, we are excited to do this because it's just like, you know what, why not share it with the world? And
Right.
so let's
And we don't want to scare you guys off in any type of way. Like,
now.
we don't want you to feel like, you're going to be walking into our office, laying down on our couch, going through therapy. Like, it's just this podcast is going to reflect our friendship. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be healing, there's going to be laughter. It's just going to be really well rounded. So don't feel like you're going to walk away from each episode, walking into the world with an open wound. Like,
Exactly.
it's going to be very well rounded.
Right.
We're gonna have fun and laughter and games and joking as well as facing the tough stuff because you just can't avoid it.
Exactly. And a lot of people in this world, they don't have, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, may have a best friend or a really close family member, or, maybe you don't, unfortunately, but, sad to say there are a lot of people who don't have someone to turn to. So that's why we want to
Right.
create this platform so that everyone has someone. We are like on every social media platform, which will
Yeah.
be linked below somewhere. And you can always
Mm-hmm.
reach out to us. We're not professionals, but we're here. And,
Right.
we want you to know we're here and we will assist you in any way that we can. So that's a big thing too with us. Like, we don't want anyone to feel alone. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what it is, good, bad, ugly, beautiful, like, there needs to be someone for everyone. And for you guys, we're here.
Yeah. And that was actually the backbone of us creating this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We just really, really wanted to make sure that there was nobody out there suffering in silence.
Right.
We have these platforms, like Miss K said. We have an email address. If you want to reach out and you want to discuss a topic that we haven't discussed yet, or if you just want to share something with us, like, we're here to listen. We're here to be supportive. We're here for the sisterhood.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here for the men too. Like, if there's anything that you want to discuss, anything that you feel like sharing, we're here.
Yeah.
And you're going to hear us say that all the time. We're here because we
Right.
really are here.
Mm-hmm.
We're here for one another, Miss K and I, but we're also, we want to reflect that to the world.
Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk a little bit about how we came up with the name Chapter 30. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm 31.
I'm 30.
So as you can see, we just joined this beautiful 30s club. And
Yes.
when you turn 30,
Girl.
let me tell you, it's just different. It's just a different
Yes.
turn in your life. Like,
Yes.
and we just want to document it and go through it like with the podcast. Like, when you turn 30, things just change. Like from your 30s to your 20s, like I just already see a huge difference. And
Yeah.
I'm only 31, so I'm like, oh my gosh, imagine when I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
35, 36. But like I've always told like anyone I come in contact with, like it's just different. Like I can't explain it. It's just a different
Right.
vibe.
Yes.
So with the podcast, it's just like, why not go through, our 30s, like just
Yeah.
on this platform with you guys.
And it's so crazy because, okay, I just turned 30 a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'm making myself believe this or if this is really what it is.
It's real.
But it just felt like there was a switch. Like there
It's
was
real.
just a turn. And you really just start to, you know what? We're going to be talking about this later on,
Mm-hmm.
but it may have to do with expectations. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? That kind of that time clock clicking in your head or whatever. But it just felt like, whoa,
Mm-hmm.
like I need to do some self-reflection. Like I need to be feeling more self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be feeling more motivated. I need to be feeling more loving. Like whatever it is, like it was just like a light switch that just turned on in my head. Like, oh,
Okay.
let me start reflecting on my 20s and see where I can learn from that and see where how I can grow as a person.
Mm-hmm. That part.
It's crazy.
Yes. And like the 20s, like they're an amazing time of your life. I feel like it's the time where you're just learning. I mean, I feel like your whole life you learn yourself, but there's just something about your 20s where you're just making mistakes and learning and growing. And it's just, and then like when you turn 30, it's just like it's time for you to
Mm-hmm.
reflect on that past decade and be like, all right, I didn't like how that feel, or I want to heal here, or, it's
Exactly.
different. So I'm excited. I was scared to turn 30. I'm not gonna lie, but like she said,
Yeah.
that light switch went off, and
Mm-hmm.
when I saw that, I was still, looking young and still feeling good. I was like, okay, I'm here for 30.
Right.
When people was like, wait, are you 22? I'm like, oh, okay, I can do 30. I can do it. I
Like
can
30
do
is okay for me. Okay, it's working.
I can do 30, as long as it looks like 20 something. I can
Right.
do 30.
30 is the new 20.
For real. Okay.
I think another reason why we decided to go with the name Chapter 30 is there's a part of both of Miss K and I that is just very artistic, very creative. We are both writers. Um, so we wanted our piece of art that we are sharing with the world to sound like a piece of art. Um, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of a lot of the times, this we just like live our lives. It's almost like we're living our life in a musical. Like there's a lot of times that we use song lyrics to express how we feel. We
Right.
use memes, gifs, like so that's just how we are. We're just very like expressive in a creative way. So it just made sense for the title of our podcast to just sound like a book because
True.
that's our life. Like we
Right.
are characters in our own books.
Totally agree with that.
Guys, I know you are wondering, like, okay, so you know who we are now, you know what the podcast is or why we named it this podcast, but what exactly are we gonna be talking about?
Right.
So like we said, it's basically our life experiences, everything that kind of led us up to this point, up to chapter 30. So we're going to be discussing a crazy amount of topics. We're going to be
Yes.
talking about self-awareness. We're going to be talking about dating apps, social media, the savage culture, which is my
Savage culture.
favorite. That's my favorite topic right now. I
It's
don't know why.
amazing.
So we're just going to be covering everything. We already have a lineup of things that we want to discuss, But again, we want this to be super interactive.
Yes.
So if there's anything that you guys want us to discuss and we don't have it on our lineup already, please let us know and we will add it to the lineup.
Yes, because we're going to be really flexible because, this is all of our safe. This is for all of us. Like, this is y'all's podcast too. So if you guys want to talk about something different, like, we're really flexible and we look forward to hearing, different ideas and topics. So please just.
I can't wait. I can't wait to get the feedback. I'm so excited because I'm gonna be like, I feel like I'm gonna read an email and somebody's gonna say something. I'm like, oh my god, I never even thought about that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh yes, let's talk about that tomorrow.
Exactly. And also, we're gonna be having guests, guys. So if you're interested in or even if you have like a product or a book or you're doing something creative or selling something, let us know because we're all about supporting each other, supporting small businesses, supporting Black-owned businesses. So we here, we ready.
We here. Listen, if you need to advertise, whatever it is.
So excited. And we have a few things lined up from a few people already.
Yes, we do.
So we're excited we're excited. Like, guys, would you believe we kind of got the whole season semi done already with room for wiggle room, but we put in a lot of work and we just cannot wait to share it all. Like,
yes. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys though. It is a little nerve-wracking because I feel like I don't know if you feel the same, Kay, but I feel like I'm putting my whole life out there for the world to just it almost feels like being naked. You know what I mean?
Very much
it just feels
very
so vulnerable.
Very much so, because like you mentioned, savage culture. We ain't gonna go in, but we live in a savage culture. So people like to be negative. People like to put people down. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of beautiful, amazing, supportive people because a lot of them are you guys. You guys are amazing, the support that you give. But to be completely honest, like, we live in a time where we do put each other down a lot. And when you're doing something as vulnerable as this, like talking about trauma and past and it's a lot. So I'm a little scared too, but we got this.
Oh yeah, we got it. And I'm proud of us. I'm proud of us for actually not only talking about it, but doing it, putting the work in behind it. Manifestation. So let's talk about 2 hashtags that you guys are going to see a lot, or I guess it could be considered 4 hashtags. You're going to see WYT and you're going to see peace, love, and perspective. And all of that kind of culminates into what type of environment that we want our podcast to be and what it is going to be. So the first one, WYT. Throughout this kind of brainstorming process, putting this podcast together, it's a partnership. It's a partnership between MissKay and I. And so during the brainstorming part of it, we had to ask each other for a lot of feedback. And we ended up asking each other, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? So we basically just shortened that to WYT. But it just had so much more meaning behind it. It just was like we were opening ourselves up to one another, because of a lot of topics that we're discussing, not a lot, but a decent amount are pretty heavy, intense topics. So we just wanted to make sure that the other one was comfortable enough to speak on it, or if there were certain topics that we didn't want to speak on, whatever it was, that it wasn't just like, what do you think, but how are you? Are you okay? You know what I mean? There was more love involved into making the podcast. There's a lot of thought behind it. So we just want you guys to know that. And then we also have the peace, love, and perspective. That just that's where we are right now in chapter 30 in our lives. And if we don't have that right now, that's what we're striving for. Those are the 3 things. Peace of mind, love, perspective. Like, that's just, I don't know how else to describe that, because that sounds like where I want to be in life. Like,
right. That's just the vibe, period. The vibe of the podcast, the vibe of life. Like you said, if it's not there, we got to strive for it. So that's just really important. Totally agree.
Exactly. And that kind of goes into our expectations. That's what you guys can expect from us. You can expect for this to be an environment that feels like peace, love, and perspective. You can we want you guys to be super involved in this process, in this journey with us. So that's why you're going to see the WYC. Like, we want to know what you guys are thinking. We want to get feedback and everything from you guys. We want to see the emails. We want to see the comments. So this is not just a sisterhood between Miss K and I. This is a whole. This is a family. You know what I mean? Our listeners included.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So we want this to be positive. We want it to feel like a safe place. We want it to feel like home. It's going to be super open. It's going to be honest. We're naturally non-judgmental people, but we just really want that to reflect in our podcast.
Totally agree. Another expectation is expected to be really real. Like,
Yes.
we are starters in this podcast game, so we're still learning. And as we mentioned, manifestation. So, like, we have a lot of goals. We have a lot of things that we want to accomplish and places that we are going to be, like, shortly, like 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. We are starters with this podcast business, but we're steady learning, but at the same time we're starters, so there's a lot that we have to learn, a lot that we want to evolve to. So just be on the lookout for a lot of changes, a lot of goals that we'll be reaching, but just be patient with us because we're
Yeah.
new. So if you have tips and tricks, feel free to let us know. But we're
Yeah.
learning, and it's just gonna be real. So like episode 1 compared to episode 5 or 20, like, you're gonna see major changes and differences because we're both perfectionists, we're both creative, as QueenTee mentioned, so we just are steady working on our craft and making it better. So
Right.
look out for that.
Exactly. And I think the same thing that is probably going to be expected of us from our listeners or our audience is the same thing that we expect from you guys. So we would appreciate the positivity, the love, the support. We've been feeling that already. We haven't even dropped anything. But we just really want that love and that support that Miss K and I have for each other, just to be reflected in our audience as well.
Right.
So we're not here to discriminate against anybody. We're not here to hurt any feelings. It's not that type of vibe. We're
Not at
not on
all.
we're not part of that savage culture. We're not trying to be
Right.
we're not trying to be anything different than what we are. So we are, I tell Miss K this from time to time. Like, I love her for just being her. And
Thank you.
I want my viewers, you're welcome. I want our viewers to come as you are. Like, I want you to just be who you are. We don't want any walls up. We don't want like Miss K said, it's really real. So be who you are, but just in a loving way.
Right. I'm
I
gonna
don't know
be
if I like that.
honest. If it was up to me, us and our little lovies, like, we will all just be in a bubble where it's just like positive sweetness, cotton candy, all that good stuff. But, like, I know, like, with the good comes the bad. So as I mentioned before, like, I'm just preparing myself for, like, I'm open for criticism, but, like, I have to prepare myself for just all kinds of feedback. And I think that's something that, like, we're both preparing ourselves for, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it is what
Like, I'm ready for the constructive
I'm
criticism.
saying, always.
I don't know if I'm ready for the trolling.
Right. And again, that savage culture. But be on the
But
lookout for that savage culture episode. That's gonna be a good
I
one.
can't wait.
Y'all not gonna want to miss that one because
For real. I can't wait. That's my favorite. That's my favorite topic.
like, what?
Oh, I can't
That's
wait.
gonna be a real good one.
Seriously. Um, I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for the support. I want to thank everybody so much for keeping us just on task. Like, when we decided to come out onto social media platforms, there's been people that's been like keeping up tabs with us. Like, okay, what is it posting? Like, the first time I went on Snapchat with it, somebody hit me up and was like, "What time?"
The
And I was like,
streets.
"Oh, okay."
The streets
The
been
street,
watching and
the streets
waiting.
been waiting and watching. Like, seriously, you guys are gonna hear us say the streets a lot
Yeah,
because
y'all the streets.
y'all the streets.
Yes, we've been calling y'all the streets this whole time, so it's not even an inside joke. We let y'all on the inside too, like y'all the streets, and we know y'all been watching and waiting, so y'all gonna hear that, and we love it. We love
Yes,
it.
yes, exactly. And the last thing I want to say personally is I just want to put a disclaimer out there that although we are here for you guys, you know, to listen and give whatever advice that we can, we are not professionals.
Mhm.
We are not licensed, but we have gone through our fair share of life. So that's where we're coming from. We're coming from our own experiences. But, you know, if ever you feel in any type of way that it's something that you feel like you need medical attention, please, you know, go to somebody who's licensed, a licensed professional.
Totally agree. And if you need help locating anything like that, we can definitely assist you to
Yes.
sources. But I totally agree with her.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek into what our first episode. I'm just gonna tell you the title. I'm not gonna give you no deets like that. But the first official episode is going to be self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Um and stay tuned
Stay
because
tuned, guys. It's gonna be a good one.
yes it is. It's gonna be really real. So
Right.
we're planning on posting that really, really soon.
Mm-hmm.
So just be on the lookout.
Yes.
You know where to find us.
Yes, we're everywhere.
Seriously.
We're everywhere. So make sure you just stay tuned to our social media platforms. We're always posting. We're always there, and that's how you'll know when we'll be posting up new episodes.
That's right.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, guys. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us.
And don't forget to follow all of our social media platforms linked below. And remember, peace, love, and perspective.